Welcome to the Top 10 Gardener with Master Gardener Ken Lain. Gardening can be challenging, but with Ken's tips, tricks, and top 10 advice, you'll reap huge rewards. Now, welcome your garden host, Ken Lain.
And welcome to this week's edition of The Mountain Gardener. Your host, Ken Lain, here every week talking about the landscapes of Northern Arizona. And Northern Arizona has the rainy season hit. So I've measured over, 2 inches of rain this week at our house. And boy, do the gardens just grow. I mean, the tomatillos went from they were growing to, oh my gosh, they doubled in size. Like this week, it was amazing the difference. And it's not just the rain, it's the humidity, it's the shade that the clouds provide. It's just a lot going on where plants just go crazy. That's why I say the monsoon season for the mountains, the higher elevations of Arizona is, or where you see summer rain, is a second growing season. It's almost easier to start things now than they are in the spring. In the spring, the soil's cold. The evenings are frosty. The humidity, the dryness, we've gone from 10%, 8%. I don't think we can measure the humidity to we're in the mid 40s, 50s. This is like glorious. I mean, to have that much humidity, plants actually absorb moisture through their foliage, through the atmosphere. That's what orchids and bromeliads, these plants that hang out, air plants. You don't really water them. You kind of moisten them. They actually pull most of their moisture out of the atmosphere. All plants do this, but they just double down now. So you've got roots for this beautiful ash tree, these aspens, the shade trees like the Prescott Blaze maple. They've got their root structure, but now they've got the foliage can actually absorb too. So they're not working as hard. They can focus their energy on growing new foliage, making new flowers. And so I kind of saw the monsoons coming. You know they're going to hit. They always hit the end of June, first part of July. Always. You can count on it. We never know how much rain we're going to get. I would not expect the last week of June we get over 2 inches in my own personal gardens. I'm about 2 miles away from the garden center here, so it's right here. And so I know the weatherman says we're expecting 20% chance of rain. What that really means is that 20% of us are going to get 2 inches of rain. Your neighbors right across the way get none. And so this cloud kind of floats across the valleys and up and down the hillsides and just dumps its load. In fact, I asked AI, I'm playing with AI. I'm supposed to, I'm a young guy running companies. I am supposed to learn how to do this. I'm going, okay, sounds fun. I'll play with it. I'm a new tech kind of guy. So play with this. I asked Google's Gemini AI, smart computers. I said, Google, or Gemini is what they call it. Gemini, how much rain falls from the average thundercloud? And he said 297,000 gallons from the average rain. That's just shy an acre foot. If you were to take 1 acre and just square it 1 mile, 1 foot high, that's an acre foot. I think it's 350, 360, I don't know, something like that. It's 300 something gallons in an acre foot. I don't know exact. Don't quote me on this. But I went, dang, that's darn close to an acre foot of rain dumping all over the city as it rolls around the city. So it's kind of exciting. So you're going to see our lakes fill up. You're seeing our streams will start to run again, which is good. We went from bone dry soil. I was planting quite a bit right before the monsoons hit. And the ground was very like dusty dry. So you had to hydrate the planting hole. You're not just watering the plant, you're watering the hole, the soil around the plant, so it doesn't just wick away the water from that new planting you put in. Well, now I'm starting to see the ground saturate again. This is magical time to plant. This is probably the easiest, best time to plant trees, shrubs. A new spruce tree, it's got that new growth. But now you put it in the ground with that moisture, the warmth. It's just gonna solidify and sit there majestically in your yard and do well. And so it's just easier to plant now. Before that, I mean, spring's the most popular time. I would say it may not be the best time for a lot of things. It's the only time you can find peonies. It's the only time you'll really find a big selection of lilacs and forsythia. But it's not the best time. The best time is now because of the humidity, the moisture, the pressure's off. Things grow instantaneously. They just grow so fast. And so it's just easier, I think. I know for you folks in the Midwest, it's, oh, autumn is for planting. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, it is for big things, big trees, big shrubs, that kind of stuff. But I think now in the mountains, in the West, where we get this monsoon pattern, we shift that thinking like the Midwest, autumn is your best. Now is the best because they root so fast. And so you get a whole nother root mass. I mean, you're just, that root ball that you put in the ground will just quadruple in size now through the end of the year because it's actively growing so fast. And you're seeing this on your plants. This is why I've cut back a lot of my flowers, especially perennials. So the Jupiter's beard, the autumn sage, they've been blooming like crazy. I kind of topped them, gave them some I'll mention fertilizers later, gave them some flower power, and they're already starting to set buds. That was just like 10 days ago. So already they're setting flowers because they're growing in this humidity. The rains help them. Lightning storms. Lightning actually rumbles through the sky and burns the air and creates more nitrogen. So you'll get it actually charges the water with nitrogen. So it actually fertilizes while it's raining. This makes plants grow fast. And so there's a lot of benefits right now. So if you're new to the area, new to gardening here in this high altitude of the mountains of Arizona, those are going to be some of the differences. Also, in June, you're watering like crazy. It's all you're doing in June, keep things alive. They're going to get stressed. They're going to get hot. They're just going to. And so just keep them alive. June is kind of one of the hardest months to grow things. June, here, it's unique because it's so dry and there's a prevailing wind. It's hot. And then the monsoons come and all the pressure's off. Because of that humidity, the cloud cover alone, you see a cloud floating over the plants. You can see the plants kind of go, shade, humidity. This feels good. And so if you cut back or pinch the old spent flowers back on your perennials, clean up your annuals, and then fertilize them again, they will instantly start flowering again. They'll go right back into a whole nother flush, almost a larger flush of flowers. Roses, same way. Deadhead those roses, take the dead spent flowers off. They'll go right back into bloom with bigger blooms than they had before. And so it's a kind of a unique opportunity. If you've got a new landscape, I would say one thing you can do that really makes a difference for brand new, or you just want you've got a new privacy screen. You want that neighbor to disappear faster behind that hedgerow of Arizona cypress or pine trees or spruce. One thing you can do right now, using the rain to your advantage, is give those plants humic, Humic, humic. It's humic acid. It comes in a bag. We got it at the garden center. It's called humic. It's an organic product. What humic does, it interacts with the soil and fertilizes the roots. It actually, the soil around that plant, it activates the soil. It actually attracts worms. It brings in all the activity where plants kind of go, whoa, this ground's alive. My goodness, this looks like a good place to grow. I think I'll root out more. Any plant that has been stressed, had some leaf tatter, had some mildew, some leaf spot, bugs, whatever, any kind of stress, humic helps that plant to root out and get a stronger root structure. Plants that got aggressive, large roots that are well established are very robust. It's kind of like people, big, strong, healthy people get a cold and they're kind of going, okay, I'm recovered. In 3 days, they just come back at it and go stronger than ever. Those that are weakened or are struggling already, they get a cold and all of a sudden it takes them 2 months to get over it. Plants are very much similar to that in that they need their roots to become stronger like that. So humic, it's a granular you sprinkle around the over the rock, around the roots. You pray for rain, and boom, you'll have more active soil where the plants root out and become less stressed in your life. So we got Lisa Watersling coming in with your garden questions right after this.
Plants are a lot like puppies. They need care, water, and food.
You wouldn't forget to feed your puppies, so don't forget to feed your plants.
Water's 744 all-purpose plant food is a gourmet meal for your plants.
The only food for Arizona plants with the nutrients they need for big blooms, a hefty harvest, and tremendous trees, all naturally.
It's time to feed your plants with 744 all-purpose plant food from Waters Garden Center in Prescott.
You're listening to Garden Master Ken Lain, owner of Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Join his daily podcast for timely garden advice seasonally right for the gardens. Ken can be found throughout the week at Waters Garden Center in Prescott or through his website at top10gardener.com.